Hello everyone, welcome to Spring Security series. My name is Vishal Kotecha and this is the second video of the Spring Security series. In the first video, we saw how to develop a Spring Security application from scratch. If you haven't watched the video, I would recommend to go and watch the video first and then come back here. Here now, first of all, a quick recap. So we did uh, log in with the credentials and we were able to see a simple welcome page. We are going to try and see how this works actually. So let me just go back here and see, this is the code that we did in the previous video. We just had a simple request mapping for the welcome page, right? So now what I have done here is I have added one more API to to retrieve the products from the database. So basically this is a products controller. The request mapping says slash products and we have injected product service dependency, and this get all method will do nothing but it will retrieve all the products list. So to keep it simple, right now we have just ID and name, two fields in the product. So basically when we get the products list from the database, we will see IDs and names, that's all. So let me try and yeah. So this is the JSON of products, and we see here that there are two products, product 1 and product 2. So you remember that we did log in with the credentials, and now we are going to some URL or we are calling some APIs. So now Spring Security understands that this user is logged in and he can access this API or the URL. So how does this work actually? Because this product's URL is not publicly accessible. Let me show you here. So if we open this in new cognito, let's say localhost 8080 and let's say products. So it is going to ask to sign in, right? So it means that this URL cannot be accessed publicly. Once the user logs in at that time only this can be accessible. So how Spring Security understands that whether the user has logged in or not? So it's very simple, fundamental. So let's go to the inspect element. In the application, I'm using Chrome browser, by the way. In the application tab, we have something called cookies. And if you see here, for my local host, there is one cookie named JSessionID. So this particular cookie does all the magic. So if I remove the cookie, I can right click and click delete. And if I try to access the products now, it will ask me again to log in. Why this happened? Because that cookie was the medium for Spring Security. So if you don't already know what a cookie is or how a session works, I would recommend to go and do some googling. It's very simple concept. So basically this cookie is nothing but a simple piece of data that is stored on your browser in your machine actually. So now let's take a closer look at this cookie. Right now, because I'm logged I'm logged out, I still have this cookie, right? This cookie has a name, it has a value, it has a domain. So right now I'm using my local machine, a local host. So it says localhost, the path, when does it expire, the size, HTTP only, and bunch of other parameters. So now when I log in, let me try to clear this cookie first, right? And again, just say localhost 8080. So it will create a cookie whether the user is logged in or not. So this is by default of Spring Security. So notice that when I actually do login, so this cookie value is going to be changed. Right now it ends with something AEB9, right? And the moment you log in, it changes and it is now AE7E. So how this works is each time we send a request, the cookie is being sent by the browser along with the request. So if I hit now on the products, that means this cookie was sent to the server, and my application using Spring Security could understand that this is a valid user, this user is authenticated. Okay, so this is how it works. And the moment you delete this cookie, now browser does not know from where this request came from, so it will again ask you to sign in. So that's the basic fundamental of how this Spring Security authentication works. Now there can be many alternatives. Like one of the possible solution is to have a cookie. Basically this cookie establishes a session, and it will be back and forth. So when the server receives this cookie, it validates and then it authenticates. So we have this simple fundamental here, and now we know how Spring Security authenticates the subsequent requests after user logs in. So now this is a very basic way. Now if you want to have more information, um, there is something called JWT. So usually in the practical world, most of the times JWT is used. It's a token basically, just like this cookie. It will be sent back to the application, it will be sent back to the server, and it will be validated. Now what is it and how it works, I'm going to cover in the next video. So stay tuned and thanks for watching.